What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the Red Type Politics channel. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I'm going to be doing my house map. And since I do not have sanity to fill out the whole map in 30 minutes, which will take, I filled it out for you so you can have your glorious look. And I will explain each, for some reason, hot take I have. So, let's get started, shall we? So, I will start out with Maine. Let's be real. Let's just be real. Jared Golden is going to do extremely worse just because it is a presidential year and will cause him to lose the race. Yes, it will underperform the presidential race, but still. Golden is going to lose by like 4 or 3. New Hampshire, I don't think I really need to explain myself for this one. It's going to be around the same as 2022. But, yeah. Then we'll go to New York. With the redistricting, sorry. With everything that's going on with this race, I have Republicans doing a little worse than they did, but still retaining some seats and doing better in some areas, like especially New York 17th with Lawler. Mike Lawler, I think, will do a little bit better against Mondier Jones. At this point in the race, you're seeing these polls come out. Like, I saw somebody pointed out, I don't know who, but in this cycle, Biden was up by 32 in 2020 in New York. Now, Kamala's up by 16. If we're seeing these trends, you're going to see better trends come out of especially the upstate New York area, Clinton County and all that, like this area right here. And a lot of these areas, like this district right here with Molinaro and all that, you're going to see an overperformance, especially in Long Island. My hot take, Trump will win Nassau County. I know somebody else is saying it. Good for you. Susie is going to win by like a likely margin just due to the fact that he's a massive overperformer. And the polls indicate that he is going to win as well. This is a pretty hot take though. I think D'Esposito is going to lose. Yes, he won by 3.6 percentage points in 2022. Then again, we had a lot of overperformance in this area. So, for now, he's going to lose by like 1 percentage point, like 1.5. There's definitely room for improvement. Like, yes, he can win. He can definitely win. But if this is going to vote for Susie, he's not going to vote for D'Esposito. So, I mean, these are going to trend almost the same. Like, if voted for Rice and then Susie by around the same margin, I expect it to be the same. Like, yes, they voted within 4, like New York 3rd and 4th. Like, voted for D'Esposito and Santos, which we don't get into, but yeah. And then I also have Brandon Williams losing. This one is self-explanatory. Yeah. Let's move to Pennsylvania. So, I do think in Pennsylvania's 8th, Cartwright is narrowly going to win. I had this race going for Rob Buchanan Jr. for the longest of time. But with early voting, it's a little more difficult. Same thing with Pennsylvania 7 with Susan Wild. I do think that Ryan McKenzie can win. It's the same thing, though. I mean, they voted near the same. They voted within 0.4% of each other. Same thing can be said, like literally 0.1. So they vote near each other. So if one's going to vote for one, the other's going to vote for another. So yeah, that's why I have that race. Really, there's no other races inside of Pennsylvania. Really, this area, too. But we'll talk about Virginia for a minute. Abigail Spartanberger is retiring, which is why we have Eugene Vindman and Derek Anderson. I will update this race actually to tilt. I think Tester actually said it pretty well. Trump is going to do better in this area, which will carry Derek Anderson. It will carry him. By how much, though? We don't know. Like, Abigail Spartanberger did really well just because she did better near the DC area. That is why. Plus, we have redistricting of this area. So, that's why. But, yeah, I'll give this race by a tilt margin. And then we have Jen Kiggins. She lost Virginia Beach, but still won. I think she's going to win Virginia Beach, which is when it's going to all fall downhill. Like, this race can actually be likely. Like, this race can very well be likely, but I'll give it lean. It's going to be around the same margin as 2022, but it's going to be like 4. We're going to see massive overperformance in the Virginia Beach area. A lot of these precincts areas right here that Kiggins is going to do better in. Let's move down to North Carolina. So for North Carolina first is a massive one that shifts to the right. Like, in 2018, it voted for Butterfield by nearly 40. 2020, then voted for Butterfield by 8. And then voted for Davis by 4. If we continue these shifts, it is going to vote for the challenger of Don Davis, Lori Buckout. I have her narrowly winning. But it is narrow. It is narrow. With early voting, I think it benefits Republicans a little more. But yeah, actually, North Carolina, if you go to Vote Hub, which I have on my other screen, Republicans are doing way better. Republicans actually are narrowly behind by a point. In North Carolina, of all things. Yes, this district is heavily black, but it's also heavily shifting to the right. So, I'm gonna give the race narrowly to Lori Buckout. So, that is North Carolina. There's not really other races. Really, Texas is self-explanatory. I'll go to Michigan. We'll go to Michigan. So for Michigan's 8th. Kildee won by 10. Now we have Kristen McDonald-Rivet, which, yeah. Do I really need to explain this one? Trump's gonna do better in this area, like Saginaw, in this area around here. The Big Bend of Michigan. Trump's gonna do insanely better, which will cause him to win the district. Can't say the same, because it's Slotkin's 7th, and of course she's running for Senate, which will benefit her. Curtis Hurdle Jr. and Tom Bartlett. I think Hurdle is going to win by like 3. Underperforming Slotkin by 2. It's going to be around the 2020 margin that Slotkin won by. But yeah. Which would make the whole state tied. For Wisconsin, I don't think I really need to explain myself. Same thing with Minnesota. There's not really... Yes, we could possibly do it with Minnesota's 2nd. N.G. Craig is just that good. She's going to win by like 5. The same thing that she did. Maybe, you know, I'll put it as lean. Okay. Iowa. I think Marianne Miller Meeks is going to win by 5. Like, literally 5. It's going to be like a narrowly lean. I'll put it as likely, actually, because it's 5. Make it cleaner. Okay. So, Marianne Miller Meeks is going to do a little bit worse just because I think that in the near areas of central Iowa that Democrats are going to do better, especially near the city. Same thing can be said about Iowa's 3rd with Zach Noon. It's just so difficult because he narrowly won. Narrowly. Polk County, if it shifts anything to the left, any little bit to the left, it'll go blue. But for now, I think Trump can do better in this area, of course. Run up the rural areas. We'll be fine. Same thing can be said about Iowa's 2nd. Like, Ashley Hinson will do way better. I think she's going to win by, like, 10. But yeah. Then, Don Bacon, I'm sorry. You're not gonna win against Tony Vargas. I'm sorry. Kamala's just gonna do too good in the district where it's gonna pull you under. It's gonna be one of those things at the district. It's just that hard. It really is. It really is that difficult at this moment. But if we go to, which really the only races left are in California, Washington, and Colorado. Bober's not in Colorado's third, so I'll actually put this as likely. So thank the Lord. We had our chance in Colorado's 8 in 2022. We lost that chance now. But in Colorado's third, it is Jeff Hurd against Adam French. Adam French has proven he cannot win. So I don't see how he'll win now. So I'm going to give that race to... Yeah. So the only races we have left... I'll do Arizona. We'll do Arizona. There's one interesting race in Arizona that I didn't want to pay attention to. Arizona's first. David Schleitwer. If we don't see an overperformance in the district, out of the Maricopa area especially, he's not going to win. So, yeah. It's just kind of hard for Democrats in this area because we're going to see possible Maricopa shift to the right, possible, or sustain. But, yeah. Then, California, you have 2 seats. California's 13th and California's 22nd. John Duarte. California should, because, of course, Kamala Harris from here, it's going to, of course, benefit her more, which will make John Duarte lose a little bit more ground, which will make him ultimately lose it. David Villado. Very interesting. This one is hard. I mean, definitely we could see him win. Definitely. You know what? I'll give it to him narrowly. I'll give it to him narrowly. I'll do that. Narrow win. It's not gonna be much, but we'll do that. Then in Washington's third, Perez and Joe Kent. Joe Kent is just doing better in the area overall to the point where he might win by like 3. Joe Kent narrowly lost just because we saw these performance issues near Portland, of course. Which we won't see now just because he's doing better. So at this point, Joe Kent is going to win by like 3. So that's my reasoning, really, for the House, which Republicans get 221 seats, and the Democrats get 214. I hope you like this video. Let me know if you guys do. Comment, like, and subscribe. And, of course, November 4th, I'll put out my final predictions for everything. Look out for that. Probably not going to make a lot more videos after this. Probably going to post these. Get them out there. And then completely wait. But yeah, this video is probably going to come out in a few days. It's the 22nd now. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, Red Tie out.